And what I want to talk to you about today is a question that comes up a lot for people thinking about selling their homes. And the question goes something like, how much do I have to pay a buyer's agent in commission to sell my house? Pretty common question. Before I get to it, I kind of want to attack the premise a little bit. And that is that it's not actually the seller that pays the commission. Now, it does come out of their proceeds from the accounting standpoint, but it's actually the buyer that pays the commission because they're the ones that actually bring the money to the table in the first place. So the way to think about this as the seller is not so much how much money do I have to pay in commission, it's how much of the buyer's money do I want to give back to their agent to help them sell my house. Now, one thing to think about when offering commission to a buyer's agent is to kind of put your own realtor hat on. And you got to remember, 90% of real estate transactions, there is a realtor representing the buyer. So you need these guys if you want to successfully sell your home. Also, there's dozens and dozens of thousands of realtors in the state of California. Most of them work on full commission, and the typical buyer takes 8 to 9 months to go from thinking about buying a house to successfully closing on the sale of a house. So their agent has been working for 8 or 9 months for no money, and they're only getting paid at the very end. It's helpful to think about that when offering an incentive, a commission, to help you sell your house. Now, just for the sake of discussion, let's imagine that the house that you want to sell is a 3-bedroom home in Newport Beach, and you want to sell it in the high ones, somewhere between $1.5 and $2 million. So let's think about that as a way to answer the question. Right now, if you were to put your house on the market, these homes here would be your competition. All buyers and agents in the marketplace are going to be looking at these houses and comparing them to yours. This here highlights the column that the agents are going to be noticing. How much are they going to get paid? Right now, in this particular market niche, there's one house that's offering a 2% commission. There are 9 homes that are offering a 2.5% commission. So where would you need to be in order to be competitive? Would you offer 2%, 2.5%? Would you offer 3%? Would you offer 4%? At a 4% commission, you're going to be offering a 37% bonus over the 2.5% commission homes. That's $16,250 extra dollars to get the market's attention to take a look at your home. Now, do you think a 37% bonus is going to get the attention of the marketplace? In your job, if your boss came to you and said, hey, I got a project for you to work on, and we're going to pay you 37% more to do the same work on this particular project here, do you think that an agent that's looking at a 37% bonus for his client buying your house is going to maybe give you a little less of a hard time about the price? Or once they're in escrow, if there's a problem, are they going to work a little bit harder to keep their buyer in the transaction? See, that's the whole point. By putting a higher incentive commission out there, you're going to get a greater level of attention. On the margins, an agent can't force a buyer to buy a house. He can't make them buy this house or that house. But there's certain things that they may be able to do on the margin to influence the decision, and you want that influence to go to your house. Then just imagine this. How many agents are going to do everything they can to at least show your house to a potential buyer? I had a partner of mine last year. He had a house for sale in Mission Viejo, offering 4% commission. And the buyer that ended up buying it, they were talking to the buyer's agent afterwards, and the buyer's agent said that their client specifically asked to only see homes in Ladera Ranch. What the agent did is said, hey, look, there's a house. I know it's not Ladera Ranch, but you may want to go take a look at it. And they drove by this house in Mission Viejo, and they ended up buying it. Now, good for the agent for showing them that house because it was the house that they ended up wanting, and they were super happy. But had my partner not offered a 4% commission, that agent probably would have never shown it in the first place. And that's the whole point. The whole point is exposure. Now, there can be an immediate objection to offering this additional money. Take a look at this. At 4%, you'd think you'd be netting less money, right? Well, assuming you could sell the house at the exact same price with the lower commission, yes, I suppose that's true. But if that's a concern, just increase the price another $17,000. Practically on a home in this range, $17,000 is a rounding error. So is that the concern? That a house at $1,767,000 is going to get a little bit less notice than a house at $1.75 million, which would be at 2.5%, or $1.731 million at 2%? My argument would be a house at $1,767,000 offering 4% is going to get far more visibility and a far likely higher sales price than those other two. So that is the strategy that I'd recommend. How much of the buyer's money would you offer as a seller to the buyer's agent to sell your house for the highest price? You offer them 4% of the purchase price. That's the way to do it. Now, that is just one of the 8 strategies that I use to help sellers maximize their selling price. If you'd like to hear those other 7 and to discuss the other strategies that I use, please call me. My number is 949-413-2371. You can also email me, michael@housemgroup.com. Thank you so much and have a great day.